Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back. You have stumbled upon the Darq Project. I am Randy, and this is a channel all about crafting a creative and fulfilling life. Sometimes that's writing stuff, like my book, Blood from Stone, which is available on Kindle Unlimited and in paperback and ebook on Amazon, and you can now get signed paperback copies from my brand new shiny Shopify store, which is pretty awesome. That'll all be linked down below. But no, this whole video is not an advertisement. In fact, this video is a holy crap, I haven't done a vlog in over 2 weeks because life has been bananas kind of video. So that's fun. The windows are open because it gets stuffy as a tomb in this place if the windows are closed, and it is cool enough for me to be wearing a hoodie, but I have the sleeves halfway rolled up and it's not quite cold enough to shut the windows. But I'm also from New York, so my temperature gauge is different. Why do you keep looking out the window? You're freaking me out like there's somebody standing there staring at me. You may hear cat purring. Atticus is sitting on the table right next to things. So I have a lot of things that I want to show. I have not been writing much in the past 2 weeks. I did not meet my goal of hitting 15K by the end of the month. I am very close now, though. I have 14,470 words in Love Like Cyanide, and because we are approaching the most difficult, not most wonderful time of the year, I have adjusted my expectations, which I feel like is a phrase I'm using a lot. I'm having to adjust my expectations because I have some really bad, unrealistic expectations of myself. I was hoping to finish Love Like Cyanide last month, and then I thought, oh, well, if I write 1,700 words a day until the end of this month, I should be able to hit 60K by the end of this month. Except it's the 15th and I've only written 2 days, I think, in the past 2 weeks. One of those days I did write over 1,700 words in a day, so all those crazy people who say you have to write every day to be an author, no, you do not. Some of us have other things going on in our lives that result in us being more burst writers. My max output was I wrote 18K in one day during NaNoWriMo once. And that was about 3,000 words an hour over the course of 6 hours spaced out over an entire day. It can be done, but because I've done it once, my brain is like, but we did it once, we can do it again. We can do it all the time, can't we? No, we in fact cannot do that all the time because children, which I did not have when I had the 18K day. By the way, did not have children yet. Job, house to upkeep, no partner or roommates to help me upkeep the house or pick up the slack anywhere. No paid time off, no sick time. Just 6 days in a row of complete and utter chaos because now that the weather's starting to get shitty, nobody is canceling or no-showing. Another thing I'm having to adjust expectations about is that working 6 5-appointment days in a row, not really something my body can do and not feel like ass anymore. So I'm going to be thinking about it a lot over the next probably 2 weeks, because if I want to make a change to my schedule, like taking it down from 5 appointments during the week to only 4, meaning I'd only be losing, if I took Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday down to 4 appointments instead of 5, then that means I'd be down 8 appointments in an average month. So I would have to be making about, and this is a slight overestimation because when it comes to money, it's better to overestimate on what you need to make than underestimate and not be able to pay your bills. I'd have to be making about $250 a month doing from some other source. I'm not quite there yet because, like I think I talked about in the last one, posting the trigger warning in my book totally screwed any trajectory it had. And now nobody reads it, nobody's reviewed it, so it's completely just kind of, which really sucks. But whatever. Talked about that. Moving on. So, with that in mind, I have been doing more physical crafting just because that's where my brain is at, and I would rather be doing something than sitting around staring at a blank screen going, oh my god, why won't the words come out? Just put the words on the screen, on the page. Why can't we do that? We know how to do that. Why can't we do it? I don't know, but you know what I can do? Make and modify unreasonable freaking quantities of notebooks. That's a thing that I can do. Because it's keeping my hands busy, and when things in Washington start getting dark and wet, you should not allow your mind to wander because the seasonal depression has got hands already. It's not good. I'm going to show you the excessive quantities of notebooks that I have modified and created. And then we're going to have a little bit of a paper haul because I went and picked up a few things at Michael's today because they were on super clearance and I couldn't help myself, because collecting hobby supplies and actually doing the hobby are two separate hobbies. They just are. I do have more composition notebooks that I am going to be modifying. I think I might take some of them, and rather than making them all into the coffin shaped notebooks, which I will be showing, I might do some half-size composition notebooks and still cover those and maybe put like some folders and extra stuff in them. But anyway, let me grab a stack of composition notebooks because I have everything else except those. And yes, everything behind me is a mess, and I don't care because I live here and I work here, and not all of us have a cozy minimalist aesthetic. Some of us live in chaos because that's all we have time for is chaos. These have been very minimally decorated for the most part. All I've done is put new covers on them and chopped them down so that they're coffin shaped, so that then people can do whatever they want with them. It doesn't have to be for a specific journaling thing or a planning thing or a certain theme thing. It's whatever the hell you want to do with it, because it's just a notebook. It is a notebook, and it is a cool notebook because my emo teenager self is so tickled with how freaking cool these are. It's just how it goes. So, most of these I did 3 of them, and then we'll get to the ones that are all unique, gore-spattered looking ones, because those ones are really cool. So, these ones, as you can see, it's more coffin-shaped. I don't know if you'll be able to see the pattern on this. Oh, you can almost kind of see it. This actually has a black rose here in the corner, and then it's got all these cool scribbly stars and distress stuff on it, and it's just a 100-page college-ruled composition notebook. I didn't do anything else with the inside of it. I thought about covering the insides. I have a few where I tried to do that, and it makes it wrinkle here in a way that I did not like. So I think there are 2 that have those interior covers, but beyond that, I'm not going to be covering the insides. So yeah, those are all very plain for people to do whatever the hell they want with them. This is a red and white damask pattern. Thought it looked neat. It's the same on the front and the back for everything. Like I said, it's just 100 sheets, college rule. There's only 2 of these because as I was going through, I realized that the original 3 composition notebooks that were my testers were actually 80 sheets, and I did not want people to expect to get a chunky 100-page and then get the 80 instead and be displeased. So those 2 I'm keeping separate. And somebody actually bought this 80-sheet one already, which is super cool, because this one actually has the covered interior cover. Like I said, it looks really cool. I like it. This is just like a watercolor gray grunge splatter thing. it looks cool, but the way that I cut them is just, it's got this extra like crinkly bit that makes it so the cover doesn't lay flat. And could I find a way to fix it and make it better in other ones? Sure, but the more I do to it, the more I have to raise the price because it takes more material, it takes more time. So this one I actually have to set aside so I can send that out. First person who bought from my shop. Thank you. And this is the other red and white damask one, but this has the lining inside, but this is only 80 sheets, and this is slightly cheaper because it's less sheets. So that's on the shop as well. Then there's the 100 sheet copper bats. And in the right lighting, you can see the glue through it, but you can see that when I turn it, it doesn't always show, so it's handmade. It's not going to be perfect like it came off the factory because I did it. It's pretty cool, but it's still made by a person, not a machine. Even though I work like a machine and batch everything when I make stuff. This one is kind of a purple Halloween tattoo flash style graphic one. There's 3 of those. This is the last one that there are multiples of, and this is just kind of like a blue and gold acrylic paint, marbly, starry sky type of deal. So that's those. And now for the ones that these are all individual because I had a big pad of gory scrapbook paper that I got from Temu forever ago and decided to make it into notebooks, and there were 2 of each sheet, so I made 9 notebooks. So there's this one. Splats. We won't say splats of what, I'm sure you can figure it out. We'll say it's splats of red ink. That's what it is. This one is just kind of a red and black ambiance going on. This one I thought kind of looked like rusted metal. This one is red with white scratches. Handprints. I think I called this color type on the website neat because the marbling kind of looks like neat. Another splat. And then this one that is kind of grungy, rusty, splats all up over the place. So those are all of the big coffin-shaped decomposition notebooks that I covered and modified. I want to make some, I think I mentioned last time the Traveler's Notebook thing, and I finally got some covers made so I can show you what that looks like, but I also have an unreasonable quantity of the inserts to such an extent that I'm probably not going to show them all on camera because we'll be here all freaking night, so I'm going to lift up the box and show you how full it is. So I was trying to make slightly chunkier ones, and then I decided that I like the 10-sheet ones the best, but I do have quite a few of these that have 16 sheets, which means there's 32 pages, you know, front and back, because chunky is just better. And then we've got some of the smaller ones that only have 8 sheets, so there's 16 pages front and back, and some of them are brown craft paper in certain color styles, just because I was messing around and playing, and that's what you do sometimes. So yeah, those are the 16s. And then I have all of these ones that are 10 sheets. I think I ended up using the better part of 2 entire scrapbook paper pads for these. And some of the prints on these are a little more juvenile because I actually bought these pads of paper when the boys were very little and I was planning on getting to homeschool them. And then, you know, divorce happened, so that became, unfortunately, a non-reality for everybody involved. But where's that one? This one looks like dragon scales. It's actually got a little bit of glitter in it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it with the way the light is, but it's shiny, it's got texture. So even though they're meant to be juvenile prints, I feel like some of them could be used for other things. Like there's leopard print, there's clouds, there's glittery everything. And then there's a whole other paper pad that was all of these wild summery things. Like, is that right side up? No, that way's right side up. But this one has, it looks like monstera leaves and pineapples. And then you've got coordinating colors. And there's ice cream cones and more florals, more pineapples. So many pineapples. Other fruit, summery fruit, watermelons and strawberries, of course. Lemon, strawberries, green cherries, more watermelon. And then one of the thinner ones from the juvenile paper pack. So those are Traveler's Notebook inserts. The way that the inserts work is that you get to put them in and take them out of your, they call it a Traveler's Notebook. Essentially, it's a folio. If you've seen a folio style notebook before, you're going to know what it is. But there are some brand name versions like the Midori Traveler's Notebook specifically, which are, from my understanding, Japanese and pretty pricey, as most paper products from Japan are. Although to be fair, they usually are really good quality. So it's worth it, but yeah. So I will show you what one looks like that has a bunch of inserts stuffed in it. And I also have a little bookmark thingy that I laminated after just stamping on a piece of scrapbook scrap just to not have to throw it away. So this is shiny, which is horrible because there's no other ambient light, so this is going to be super fun. But this is what it looks like from the outside. This one is particularly chonky because if I'm going to go to the trouble of making a notebook for myself, it's going to be able to hold a lot of shit because that's what I do. So it has an elasticized closure. It's just a piece of elastic. All of the elastic on my Traveler's Notebooks is going to be red because red is my thing. Even if it seems like the red might not fit, too bad it's red. Because I said so. This size comfortably fits 6 inserts. You could probably also put a folder in here. You could put like a writing board in here. And I didn't choose these inserts with any rhyme or reason. I just grabbed 6 and put them in here to see if they'd fit. So the way that these go in here, you take your insert and you go to the middle of it, which you'll be able to find because mine are staple bound. They're not stitched because I was going more for simplicity and quantity at this juncture. So all you do is you take it and you put it in your elastic. You just wiggle it through till it's in the middle and it holds it in place. This one has 2 pre-existing elastics in it that are on the inside, threaded from here to here and here to here. But you can add in more. Let me see if I can pull this out. On top of the 2 that are naturally seated in the pre-existing elastic, if you take another piece of elastic that is the same size and you connect 2 of these inserts together like this, and you just slip it underneath the one that's in here, and then 1 becomes 3. And because there were 2, there are 6. So this one, just to show you the different inserts in here, this one's got gold pineapples. That one just says EXO. What's that one? Oh, that's the inside. This one is kind of a Harlequin print almost. That was with the summer pack. Ice cream. That's the green one. And then there's this, all these gold, shiny, positive affirmation type dealies. Enjoy the life, thinking of you. Think happy thoughts. Just happy vibes. You have my heart. Joy. Love. Relaxing. Regardless. So you can fit 6 inserts comfortably in one of these because it's quite thick. But the whole point of this is that if you have different things that you have to do, you don't want to necessarily have to carry around a bunch of other different things with you. You could even add pockets into this. Like I said, you can make folders for it, which I'm going to be experimenting with at some point because I got more paper because I'm a dumbass. But this one, even though this doesn't fit my vibe, I'm thinking I might end up having to keep this one because I don't like the way that the eyelets turned out on this one. I ended up not using eyelets on the other ones because I feel like even though it's not an unsafe sharp, I feel like the back of it is jagged enough that it could potentially do damage to the elastic over time, and I don't want that. Which you probably couldn't tell because they're all buried in here. But with my inserts, I put the staples with the flat part inside so that you don't have the 2 pokey parts extending out and rubbing against your elastic to extend the life of the elastic. You know. I made a whole bunch of these. Like I said, I just showed you that box that's full of the inserts. Oh my god, I spent an entire day having an X-Men movie marathon, and I think I did like 50-something inserts that day, folding the paper, cutting the paper, stapling the paper, folding the paper. Fun stuff. So, all of the other folio binders that I have, like I said, some of these are more juvenile prints because that was just the kid paper packs that I had. So this one in particular is the worst offender of that. But if you're a teacher or if you have a kid who just likes to collect notebooks and stuff, because when I was a kid, notebooks of all different sizes were the coolest thing in the known universe. So do not feed the animals, go wild, Z is for zoo, see you later alligator. Yeah, they're cute. They're just not my aesthetic, because that's not what I do. That's not me, man. And then there's these ones that are all letters with a word attached to it. There's 2 of those. So that's the last of the definitely more in the kid teacher vein. These other ones are a little more grown-up aesthetic, I suppose. This one on the outside, it has gold metallic dots, and the inside is this Monstera and pineapple print. And we have one that is the opposite and has the super bright flashy one on the outside. And realistically, if you got one of these, since these are double-sided and you like the side that's on the inside more, all you have to do is unstring the elastics, fold them in the opposite direction, and put the elastics back in. I don't know how much it would hold up over time if you felt like you wanted to swap it back and forth multiple times, but if you decided that you liked the inside better than the outside, you could definitely just take the elastics out and flip it. So this is the twin to the other one that does not have grommets, eyelets, whatever you want to call them, 'tis the same thing. The inside is kind of a muted hexagonal. God, that is so hard with that stupid ring light. Ooh, there we go. Stay. And then there are two with this watermelon, strawberry, lemon, gold, shiny pineapple on the outside. And the inside is just a two-tone red stripe. And then for all of the fun ones that are more my aesthetic, I might be keeping one of these. We'll see. I'm probably keeping one of these. This is the rest of the paper pack from Temu that I covered the Coffin notebooks with. This one is really hard to see, even in good light, and my lighting is failing because now it's starting to get dark outside. But it's bricks with red splats, and it's the same on both sides, and there's two of those. I actually need to list all of the Traveler's Notebook stuff on my shop, which means taking pictures and making listings, and I don't want to right now. That is a problem for Randy later this week to take care of. Possibly tomorrow, because I just don't have the juice today. This one is a wood grain with more red splatters. Like I said, there's two of those as well. And this one kind of gives me Slender Man vibes, honestly. It's, gray with lots of dripping red, and it almost looks like trees. Maybe that's why it gives me Marble Hornets and Slender Man vibes, but there's two of those as well. So that is all of those. And then the last thing, well, actually, I take that back. There's one more itty bitty teeny tiny set of Traveler's Notebooks that I made. And these are, I think they call them micro size. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to look. But I made these with a 6x6 paper pad that was Halloween. It's got the little teeny ghosty outside. And then this one is made to fit 4. Oh, I could get 4 in here. So there's 4 little inserts in each of these. And it's just plain blank paper. And some of the ones going forward, I'm going to have a dot grid, and I might do some lined. I'm trying to figure out the logistics of getting that to print properly in the size that I need it to without wasting a lot of paper. Experimenting is necessary, but you still don't want to waste a lot when you're playing, Because there are 3 of these, I decided that I would just make a random selection of the inserts for each of these. And there are 5 inserts that go with them, even though it only fits 4 at a time. So you could do 3 and keep 2 out if you like to have a little more space. I need to put a closure elastic on these still. This one's got little jack-o'-lanterns on the outside. Here's a cute little skeleton insert. And then the other one is the outside that is the same as that insert. And it's got a little ghost insert, purple and black. So see, this is more my aesthetic, even if it's cutesy and kitschy. Like, I could do Halloween stuff year round. I don't care what the season is. That's just how I roll. But what I did with these was made sure that each one doesn't have the same pattern repeat twice. So I just need to do closure elastics for those, and those will go up in the shop eventually too. Like I said, these ones are tiny. They're good for keeping notes. They're good for lists. If you're somebody who likes to write down quotes from things, which I've just recently discovered I really like doing when I'm reading, especially if I'm reading digitally. Because when you're reading digitally, if it's through like the Kindle app, yeah, you can highlight things, but if you borrow it through Kindle Unlimited, then you can't look at those highlights, as far as I know, without borrowing it again. So I decided to go through and I highlighted things as I wanted while I was reading, and when I was done, I went through and hand wrote down all of the quotes that really stuck with me for 2 books. 2 Cassandra Caw books, I think. I have them all written down and I will look at it later, because I need to have coffee, and that's awful because it's 7 p.m. and I'm so freaking tired. I have so much crap to do, and it doesn't matter. And then the last thing, aside from the cute little stamped and laminated bookmarks that I did with a little black cat on a planchette, and little black kitty sparkly ribbon sticking off the top. I know these aren't super long, but I like this size for bookmarks because it works with things of different sizes. Not every book is big, and some bookmarks are quite large. But anyway, those. I also discovered mini composition notebooks, which I thought about chopping these down and decided that they are too small to lose the writing space. So as neat as it would be to have the coffin shape to them, I thought that it would be better just to leave them as they were for more real estate to write inside the notebook. And if you disagree and you think that they should be chopped into coffin shapes, well, maybe I'll do some and we'll see how they do. I did get a giant pack of, like, what is it, 120 mini composition notebooks. So essentially what I've been doing with these is using up the scraps from making the traveler's inserts, so I'm not wasting paper, but it's still making something old seem new and different. These are just little 4.25 by 3 something for these notebooks, but these are actually narrow ruled. I don't know if you can see the lines, which is close to college rule, honestly. I don't like big honka-chonkin wide rule space when I'm writing, because if I do, then I write huge and I write sloppy, and nobody likes that. So there's those, that, more of the same. This one is, you can barely see it. It's actually white with some marbling on it. I actually made my first insert that I decorated with that. Those, I'm trying to just show you the different ones instead of showing you the same one 20 times. This is the same orange that I used the last scraps of to make the little laminated bookmarks with. Like I said, essentially the whole point is to use up as much of the paper as possible, and the scraps come out just the right size to cover a couple of these, so why not? There's those, and then these are some of the more juvenile prints. It's like glittery letters. Oh, there's a lot of that one. Orange and gray dots. More of the kind of glittery red-orange plaid. Leopard print, because who doesn't love leopard print? And that's just the orange one. There's also a blue and I think maybe green leopard print too. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of things with my hands, and it's felt more fulfilling than clickety-clacking away on a keyboard and looking at things on a screen and going, why is nobody reading this damn thing? Moment of ridiculous teenager brain humor, because I am just a 14-year-old boy up here sometimes. I was walking through the store yesterday and walking down the snack aisle, which you should never do when you're hungry in the first place, but I did, and I happened to walk past the section where all of the jerky and Slim Jim style things are, and I found this glorious thing right here. 6 feet of meat. Oh, but wait, it gets better. And then it says 6 original giant size sticks. Yeah, enough said. So I had to buy it, and I will be keeping the packaging after I consume the 6 feet of meat for the laughs, because I've reached the point of my life where I am caring less and less what other people think of me, because life is so short and there are so few things in this world that make my shriveled little heart happy. And dick jokes are one of those things that makes me laugh. So, I will be keeping this package and probably making it into a journal cover or a bookmark or something. It's gotta happen. So, moving on from that. Now, the part everybody has been waiting for, because consumerism, yay! And that is actually a big part of the reason why I tend to not do haul videos for anything, even when I do buy stuff, because I feel like it promotes buying things in an unhealthy way. But I bought a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to show you. Don't feel compelled to go buy stuff, but if you're a paper crafting person, Michael's has a whole bunch of junk on sale right now, and I should not have, but I only paid with cash, so I knew I had to have a limit. This is all just regular, slightly thicker than copier paper. I think regular copy paper is 20 pounds, and all of these are 24, so slightly thicker, but it's still able to be printed on easily. So this one is an orange and yellow palette, if you can see it through the glare, with the lovely ring light featuring yet again 120 sheets. This one is shades of red. Some of it looks kind of pinky, which is ick, but whatever. I thought that these would be good for insides of notebooks, like I said, potentially printing dot grids and stuff on. And then they had black paper, not cardstock. I have some black cardstock, but it's paper. So this would be really good with gel pens, especially white gel pens or metallic ones. Made my little goth heart happy. But anyway, so all of the recollection style papers, whether it was paper pads or this style of paper, were buy two get one free. So I shouldn't have, but I did. Oh wait, there's more. Oh my goodness, Simi. Okay, so these pads are usually $10 a piece. They were on sale for $5. This one is the Autumn Dream pad from Craftsmith, and it's got all these autumnal things. I'm probably going to use one of these to make a cover for a traveler's notebook for me. Ooh, so there's actually one in here that's got a bunch of knitted sweaters in a stack, but there's also one that's got granny squares that are crocheted that are all in like muted neutral. I just saw it. Where did it go? There's some metallics in here. There's some cool photography. There we go. So somebody who used to crochet all the time. Yeah. So that's one. Pretty self-explanatory. Plaid. I like plaid whether it's fall or not. Flannel is working people clothing because that's just how I grew up. This one is the Orchard Hill paper pad. It's got apples and book stuff and a lot of Queen playing cards in particular. Now there are a few weird pages in here that I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with. I'm sure I'll figure something out, but it's got like this big honkin' circle in the middle, so I'll have to figure something out. And I got this one, which is Theater of Stars. And it's got a bunch of celestial stuff and a lot of metallics, and there's fleur-de-lis and things that look like notebook paper, outer space photography. Reach for the stars, a night of magic. And then I got two of this one because it was in the clearance section and it was only $3. So, and it is the Travelogue paper pad. It's got a lot of postage stamp stuff and see the world and compass rose and planes and find what brings you joy and go there. I wish. Say yes to new adventures with like a picture of a beach. Got some cool maps in here. The maps were mostly why I wanted these, but yeah, I got two of that same one. So that was my quite brief and unnecessary paper purchase. But another thing that I did yesterday was I found my sticker stash. So I've been trying to find this for the longest time. I bought a giant lot of stickers from some sticker bombing website years ago and could not find the damn thing. I knew I still had it somewhere, but didn't know where it was. Found it and went through all of these stickers last night and picked out a stack of them to use so that things get used. Because yes, I have the nice things, and stickers, using stickers is a level of commitment that I know a lot of people find scary, and I also found very frightening for a long time, because once you stick it to something, it's done. Like, the sticker is gone. Once you use it, it is on that thing forever. That's why the only thing that I used to sticker bomb previously was my laptop, and my laptop is over there somewhere. I think I might have a picture of it, and if I do, I'll post it here instead of having to go get it and pick it up. But I have a lot of stickers. I've always liked stickers. Stickers are nice. So I found a bunch of these that I plan to use for some things. Cute little fennec, because fennecs are my favorite. I was obsessed with them when I was like 8. Grim Reaper, Zaddy type. 3-eyed hairless kitty cat. Enough said. There's another one in that same vein. So most of these stickers were from like a graffiti style pack, so they're kind of out there. I really liked this one though. Dismal Land. Dismal Land. And it looks like it's on fire. I really like this one. It's a brain. That's a bomb. This one I thought would go well with all of the lemony and strawberry things that I have. I probably won't use this one myself, but I picked it out of the stack. Death's Head Moth. Cute little black kitty cat with a fork in his head because he's in the cup and he's fruit. This one is a metallic one that is a jar and it says Dream. Another metallic one that is a bat. You probably can't really see his face. Oh, you can kind of there. I know it's white. There we go. Cute little chibi kitsune. Box on a stack of books. And a white leopard hanging over a branch. So those are all of the stickers that I found that I'm going to start making use of. I do have another thing that is full of stickers that I do know for sure where that is. It's right here in the bin with all my other paper crafting stuff. Last night, I was thinking more about how I've been wanting to draw lately. And I discovered that I find even my crappy ring-bound, like $6 sketchbook that I got from Walmart, for some reason, the full-size pages in it, and by full size, I mean they're not full size, I think it's technically B6 size. I'd show the front, but it's got pictures of me and the kids, and I don't want to show the crap inside of it because it's no bueno. There we go. So, this size. For some reason, despite the fact that this sketchbook is tiny, very intimidating to me. And I have been, well, what if I draw something in it and it doesn't look perfect and people judge me and tell me that it's shitty because it's not perfect? The whole point of a sketchbook is for it to be shitty and not perfect. Dear art influencers, looking at you, kid. Quit making people feel that way. 90% of the time, a sketchbook is for practice. That is what it is for. You do not have to share a sketchbook with anybody. People who be posting perfect, professional-looking sketchbooks either do art as their job or are full of crap and practiced and practiced and practiced. And that is not just like a shitbook sketchbook, which is the best terminology to distinguish between a pretty sketchbook and the sketchbook you actually learn things in that I have seen from an art influencer. I can't remember who that was. Was it Mew Triple, maybe? who was talking about a shit book. Because Hunter, my older son, for a while was also having issues with not wanting to draw anything because he'd go to do it and it didn't look like how it looked in his head. So it was garbage and it was horrible and he was horrible and he wanted nothing to do with drawing ever again and it was the most awful thing to ever exist, and the downward spiral that is we will be teenagers soon. Yeah. So anyway, all that to say, I took 10 sheets out of this, and because the sheets were perforated, they were easy to take out, so I didn't have to damage it, and I folded them in half and made this, which is sketchbook paper with a piece of cardstock that I printed some cool stuff on because, like I said, this is just my aesthetic. It just is. Like, can you see my earring that has a little vampire mouth and a little blood drip looking bead on it? It's just me. But I feel more comfortable drawing in this. I haven't drawn anything in it yet, but I went through and rounded all the corners so it looks all fancy. And even though it looks fancier than the other one, because it's smaller, I feel like I could sketch in this space. And because it's a smaller space, it doesn't feel like I'm wasting it, even though it's honestly the same amount of paper that's in there. Looks smaller, more digestible, more comfortable working on it. And I found this cool ticket sticker in the sticker bag, so I thought it fit. Hello, sir. What are you doing, my kitty friend? I know I've been talking for a long time, huh? And another thing in my inserts going forward, I'm not sure if you can tell, but the staples are actually red. Just like the elastic, and that makes me happy. Do things that make you happy if it's not hurting anybody. And to hell with what people think. But my insert, which I think I showed before, that's on the marbled paper, I have a little stamp in the corner that is a heart in a jar, and then I use some red splat washi tape, a fake tarot card, little now playing stamp, and I wrote the date that I started using it. And this is for quotes. And in this one, now that I've got it open, so I read Breakable Things by Cassandra Khaw, and I am going to do a separate video about that. That's part of the reason why I wrote down the quotes, is because I wanted to read them and talk about a few of the stories. But it was a short story collection by them. I'm tempted to say her, but in fact Cassandra Khaw goes by them. Oh, so all of these quotes are from the short story collection with the exception of one, which was from The Salt Grows Heavy that I actually listened to the audiobook version. So that obviously has less quotes because I was just listening, but this line in particular stood out to me, so I wrote it down. But The Salt Grows Heavy is actually an extension of, I don't remember off the top of my head, but essentially it is a very dark and unhappy Little Mermaid style tale. It's written in here somewhere. I'm not going to read through the whole thing right now because I will do that at a later date. But this is just to kind of show you some of the things that you can do with it. That's why I minimally decorate them. I know some people go totally ham with the junk journal style thing, and the more I look at junk journals in general, the more I realize I don't understand them. Like, yeah, this is a really cool thing texturally, and it looks neat, but it's so full of stuff you can't write in it. So why? And I've actually watched a few videos about why people do it, so you don't need to explain it to me. I get it conceptually, but that is not for me. And that's fine. You enjoy it? Cool. Have your junk journals. Make them chunky and full of all the fabric pieces and paper pieces that your little heart desires. That's just not for me. Because I like stuff like this. And like this. And like this other cool sticker that I have that says Smut the Reader. This is where I have all of my outlining for Love Like Cyanide and Book 2 of Song of the Sangomar and Project Undying and this is so many things, honestly. So many halfway done things. There's like notes in here on like elements of Gothic literature and how to scale your serial and my script for my terrible writing advice video that I put out in February and a poem and an Insta-Love romance blueprint and writing prompts that really stuck out to me. 3 item prompts that I will use someday. All sorts of things. And then I have the 27 chapter 3-act story structure thing written on these garishly neon index cards because I won't lose them that way. It might not be my aesthetic, but when I have something that I need to pay attention to, neon is the way to go. So I keep those together. And I actually keep these all in a plastic Ziploc bag because I always have these in my purse, which is a big ass tote bag. Why do I keep them in a plastic bag? Well, because they're paper, and I am a massage therapist by day. And that means that even through excessive diligence, sometimes I bring home an apron that needs to be washed that is more saturated in oil than I realize, and I don't want my paper stuff to get ruined. Because that would not be fun. So, I have rambled long enough. This is going to be excessively overlong. I was thinking this would be about 35 minutes, and it's probably going to be closer to 45 or 50 once I edit all the junk out. So, more writing stuff to come, but for now, that's just not where my focus is because I'm disillusioned with life, the universe, and everything in general because that's just how it goes sometimes. So, I hope that you're all doing well. If you made it this far, feel free to leave a coffee or tea emoji down below and tell me if you are writing, what you are working on. And if you're not writing, if you're revising, whatever, if you're doing crafting stuff, just tell me what you're working on. What have you been doing lately in the realm of creation that brings you joy? Because sometimes we need more joy. Like right now. Because everything's getting real dark. Especially with the election coming up in America. Oh my god. But we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. Nope. No. We're not going to talk about that. Out of the brain. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Remember that we're all just works in progress, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take care, guys.